hello, and welcome back to another episode of Devy Dojo. I am your host, Chris the Cardman, and I am flying solo today. My co host Dustin was unable to record this week, so I wanted to still come in and get you guys with a little bit of info. So we have a bit of a shorter episode lined up here today, where I'm going to be going over five members of the backfield, three quarterbacks and two running backs that I have been impressed with so far this college football season. But before we dive into that, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all of our listeners and friends and supporters. It's just been an awesome ride so far. We're entering into our fourth month of Devy Dojo content here as the football season begins. And we've had nothing but love from people. And I'm just very appreciative of everybody who's listening to us or checking us out on YouTube or interacting with us on our Discord. So thanks to everybody for tuning in. But first, diving in, the guy who was on our thumbnail for this video, Dante Moore. He sure showed me. Back in our QB tiers episode, I had flag planted myself as a hater of Mr. Moore, citing some of his stats at UCLA and then the subsequent success that Mr. Ethan Garbers had after Dante had been benched at UCLA that very same season. And what has Dante done? He has done phenomenal so far this season, starting the year with 34 completions out of 43 attempts for 497 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 0 turnovers. Oregon as a whole has utterly dismantled the likes of Montana State and Oklahoma State, and now Dante Moore is becoming a leading Heisman candidate as well. His odds have jumped from plus 3,000 to plus 1,300 in the last couple of weeks. But honestly, what really has impressed me the most is just how quickly he seems to be managing the game. He's processing the plays very well. He's getting the ball out lightning quick, and his velocity looks almost effortless. He's leading his receivers perfectly. He's really helping out everybody's Decorian Moore stocks. And, Moore isn't necessarily one of the focus points of this episode because he was already a higher price Devy asset, but he looks good, man. If you have any shares of Decorian Moore, you're very happy with it, and you're very happy with what Dante Moore has done for him at the quarterback position. Right now, this offense is firing on all cylinders thanks to Dante's leadership, and we may be staring at yet another Heisman finalist coming out of the quarterback position at Oregon. Now, I'm not ready to fully walk back my hater status. I'm pretty good at being a hater, and these have been some lighter opponents so far. So what I'm really looking forward to is in just about 2 weeks, we have Oregon coming into my alma mater, Penn State. There's going to be a whiteout in Happy Valley. So if Dante can continue to show me some good traits and some good assets in a game against a very good defense, I might have to eat some crow. But I got to applaud him. He's made me a bit of a believer after originally being a little bit more out on him. So he's had quite a turnaround. Another quarterback who's had a heck of a year so far is John Mateer. If you have watched any college football at all yet this season, you have surely taken notice of how he has thrust himself into the spotlight. He's also a leading Heisman candidate contender. He's a legitimate dual threat quarterback right now. He rushed for 2 touchdowns last week in their upset over Michigan. And in 2 games this season, he has completed 51 of 71 passes for 662 yards and 4 touchdowns, albeit with 2 interceptions mixed in there as well. He's also rushed for 98 yards and 3 touchdowns. And my co-host Dustin, if he was here, would have nothing but praise to say about this guy because he has been singing the praises of John Mateer and banging the drum all offseason for him. Back in our QB tiers episode, he cited John Mateer's 53 missed tackles forced last year and 18 big-time throws when he was playing for Washington State. And that is some of the main things that he's bringing right now to his new team at Oklahoma. He has just been phenomenal, especially on the ground, but passing as well. He looks like a very good quarterback asset to own in Devy. So if you have any shares of him, or if you were looking to get him from our conversations on him previously this offseason, I'm sure you're very happy right now because he's looking like one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He's starting to garner some first round pick discussions, and I've heard people even throwing his name out as a potential number 1 overall. I'm not quite ready to go that far yet, but we definitely like what we've seen, and he could potentially become a first round pick in Dynasty Superflex leagues. The third quarterback that I wanted to highlight today was Beau Pribula. I have been excited to see him at Missouri as he was the quarterback in waiting for my Nittany Lions, and he has been tearing it up so far for the Tigers, starting the season hot with 53 passes completed out of 67 attempts for 617 yards and 5 touchdowns with 0 interceptions, which has led him to be PFF's highest rated quarterback in college so far this year. He has also made a little bit of noise on his feet, mostly in the first game of the season. He was a little bit more bottled up on the ground last week against Texas, but he is a nice dual threat quarterback, and it's just been really fun to watch him shine for the Tigers, man. I don't know that he's necessarily a terrific Devy asset because I don't necessarily see him translating super well to the NFL. So this might be a good sell high opportunity if you have him on any Devy rosters. I think that he's a little bit limited by arm strength and his mechanics are a little bit sloppy. They need a little bit tightening up, especially his release, which can be a little bit slow, especially when he's running away from some defenders. But so far this season, he looks really good. So this is an opportunity now for you, if you're a believer, to maybe go out and buy him before the stock gets too high. Or if you do have him now and you want to listen to my advice, maybe sell him off a little bit because I don't know that he's going to make it, as an NFL starting quarterback for your dynasty roster. Moving to another position in the backfield, Mr. Isaac Brown. Dustin said he would fight me if I didn't talk about Isaac Brown, but he was already on my list anyway. So if you caught any highlights this week, you surely saw Isaac Brown because he had a nice highlight reel play, a 78-yard rushing touchdown to ice the game against JMU. He found a seam, turned on the burners, and just outran the entire defense. And what I like the most about that run, if you go back and look for it, it's not hard to find. It seemed like he almost hit the nos there, man. He had a little bit of a nitro boost for the last tackler. Just put a little extra gear in there to make sure that he avoided the very last tackle and took that thing all the way to the house. And we did highlight him as well on our RB tiers episode as a name to keep your eye on, and he's very much showing us that right now. He has 12.78 yards per carry, which is currently number one in college football. He was PFF's highest rated running back after the first week of the season. And when you look at the total of his career so far, in 15 games, he now has 4 rushes of 67 yards or more. He's an absolute home run threat, and he's been showing that off tremendously so far this year. Our main concern with him remains the same, that he's a little bit undersized at only 5'9" and 190 pounds, but we have seen those kinds of players make some noise in the NFL, and somebody with that exact same build, Devon Achane, who is obviously one of the better running backs to own in Dynasty right now. Although if you watched any of the Finns last week, that might not be the case right now. You might not be the super happiest with how the Dolphins offense is looking. But Achane is totally a name to own in Dynasty, and Isaac Brown is a perfect comp in that sense as a home run hitting smaller running back. So somebody that you definitely want to have on your Devy roster if you don't already. And last but not least, Ahmad Hardy, another guy we've talked about a little bit in the past, but not as much as some of these other players. This is Beau Pribula's teammate and fellow transfer at Missouri, and so far he's had a nice impact for the Tigers. He led college football with an astounding 12 missed tackles forced last week against Kansas, compiling 112 yards and a touchdown on 25 carries. He's got back-to-back games so far this year with 100 yards, and he's averaging 6.1 yards per carry. He is 5'10" and 206 pounds, which gives him a nice little stocky frame to help him avoid some of those tackles when he can't use his shiftiness, because he does have a nice little natural lateral movement to his game. But what has been highlighted about him in the past and what you can notice on tape is his contact balance and his ability to miss those tackles or make those tacklers miss, break some tackles. And that showed up on his career average, which is over 5.2 or 4.25 yards after contact. And so far this year, he has 4.56 yards after contact. And he had over 1,000 yards after contact last year as well at Louisiana Monroe. So the big thing for him would be, can he sustain this level of production against some higher levels of talent. And that's something that needs to be seen throughout the season. But I think this guy probably has a future as an NFL draft pick, and he might be able to vault himself into day 2 conversations if he can continue his current success against some of the better opponents on the schedule this year. Definitely got to watch as the competition gets stiffer. So that was the 5-pack of backfield guys rising up the Devy ranks I had planned for you today. I appreciate you guys tuning in for this shorter episode. Please, please, please reach out to us on Twitter. Drop some names in the comments. Who do we need to be talking about more? Who needs to be on the people's radars? We're happy to have some discussion. Join our Discord, Empire of the Elite. There's plenty of ways to interact with us, and that's one of our favorite parts of doing all this content creation. So again, thank you to all of our listeners. Shout out to you. You're the reason we do this, and enjoy watching football this week.
We are here. FantasySportsAdvice.com, offering the best fantasy sports social media platform. Why join endless Discord communities or the trolls of Reddit? Fantasy Sports Advice is a community designed to help you win with 24/7 support. Go to FantasySportsAdvice.com and become a pro member for unlimited access. Again, go to FantasySportsAdvice.com today.